Ahoy! Today there are so many cool news for New World that I will not even be able to fit them all into one video, so we'll likely get two today. But we're gonna start with the announcement that just came out, and that is one that I am personally super excited for. That is the announcement of a public test realm, the Void Gauntlet, and more. So let's talk about that. So, the first announcement that was made that a new public test realm will be made available for both Europe and North America. That obviously doesn't mean you can't play if you're not from there, but the servers are in Central Europe and US East. The public test realm will be available from tomorrow, November the 10th, at 12 PM PT or 7 PM UTC. On these public test realms, you will be able to create characters and instantly level them to certain level ranges with certain gear for that level as well. So you probably get a base level 30, level 60, and level 1 option, which was the case on the previous test servers for content creators. The goal is obviously to catch a ton of the issues and bugs that come with new features before things hit the live client, so they don't end up as broken. So I will spend a lot of time there because I want to make sure that I can find everything about the mechanics of the new weapons and also make sure that the mechanics are working as intended, and also report any major bugs that could cause any big issues in wars, etc. The public test realm will automatically show up in your Steam library as a separate game basically, and you can install it if you want, or you can just hide it if you don't want it. It'll come with its own public test realm subforum to report bugs, but you can also use the in-game feedback tool. If you find a very game-breaking bug, I would personally recommend using the in-game feedback tool over the forums, because otherwise, if it's not fixed by launch, then there could be people abusing it because they saw it on the forums. I still think that the open forum can be a bit of an issue for things like this. So what can we expect on the public test realm? Well, the first big thing that's announced is the Void Gauntlet. This is honestly a bit surprising to me. I did not expect them to release a new weapon already, while the other ones are still in a very, well, need of balance state, I would say, but they mentioned that in another post. We'll get into that probably in a second video today, when it comes to what happens to other weapons. Here specifically, they are announcing that the Void Gauntlet will be on the public test realm. I suppose if it ends up completely broken, they might just delay the release of the weapon. Here's how they describe it. The Void Gauntlet has manifested in Eternum. Manipulate the powers of the Void to support your allies and debilitate your enemies with this magical DPS support hybrid. It's the first weapon to scale on both intelligence and focus, making it a great pairing with the Lifestaff and other magic weapons. By the way, from what we've seen so far, the primary attribute is likely going to be intelligence, and the secondary scaling is going to be with focus. The Annihilation Tree focuses on maximizing damage at close range and revolves around Void Blade, a summoned blade of corrosive energy. The Decay Tree offers ranged healing and debuffs and revolves around Orb of Decay, a dual-phase projectile that can debuff enemies and heal allies. A very cool mechanic in my opinion. With its arsenal of buffs and debuffs, the Void Gauntlet is perfect for group combat and can significantly bolster your allies at the expense of your enemies. So in many ways I would describe the Void Gauntlet as a warlock weapon. That obviously comes with some concerns because Lifestaff is arguably the best weapon in the game as of now, strongest weapon as of now. So having another weapon that is new, which usually in most games means it's relatively strong, scales with the same attribute and also comes with a bunch of other perks and some healing, that's a bit scary and it's going to be hard to balance for sure. Now, what the Void Gauntlet doesn't seem to have to the same degree as other weapons is mobility or maybe safety tools in general outside of the healing. So that's going to be very interesting. At the moment, a lot of healers choose a secondary weapon that either gives them more mobility to get away if they get into a bad situation, or something like Ice Gauntlet that allows them to entomb, just any form of safety net, whereas the Void Gauntlet goes in a different direction, and many healers don't often switch from their Lifestaff. So we'll also see how this works for int users. Maybe int users will make use of this differently. I'm also curious if there's any way to combine this into a melee build with that Void Blade. So very interesting options. Hopefully somewhat balanced between the other weapons. That's not all. There's also a new enemy type. The Varangian Raiders will be in the game now, and that means a bunch of new enemy types. They will be on war camps in the beaches of First Light and Monarch's Bluff. And it's said they have taken a fort in Everfall. I suppose it's not actually the PvP fort, but that would also be interesting. So the new enemy types here are Varangian Hewers, Scouts, Knights and Archers, with a level range from 16 to 20. This is particularly interesting to me, as that is the level range where a lot of people said the game is a bit of a drag. There's not enough in terms of quests that you have to do, like in the range around 18 to 25 basically. So having some mobs that are around that level range means there's a little bit more content to get through that particular, well, more grindy part. Along with that, there will also be 2 new quest lines from Abigail Rose for exactly these enemies. And what it also states here is that this is just an expeditionary force. More will come, so we'll probably see more higher level enemies of this type as well later on. They look really cool in my opinion, and I really like this way of gradually implementing a little bit of extra content here and there. Many other games do big content patches, they just add some more enemies here, and I think that's pretty cool. And on that note, they are bringing some other new enemies as well. The Withered Swarmancer, Beetle, which I guess will drop Arcana reagents, the Lost Shaman, Pirate Alligator, Ancient Guardian Pyromancer, and Enhanced Corrupted Laborers. So these will bring unique combat encounter sets, so I'm assuming they will all have different unique combat mechanics as well. And I'm really looking forward to that. I like that. More PvE variety is definitely something that is a huge plus in my eyes. So if they continue in that direction, very good in my opinion. It is noted that these will be lower level open world encounters, so probably no new high level mobs, but that's understandable in my opinion because the high level mob variety is already significantly higher than the low level mob variety, and it was more a complaint by the general player base that in the lower levels a lot of them enemies seemed more repeated, and I think that was a fair complaint, so mixing that up a little bit is a good idea. I wonder if in the long run that means New World will do more to encourage creating a second character and playing through the storyline again as well, because obviously if we see more changes in this direction, that'll drastically change how the game feels when you play through it. There's also a new legendary weapon quest for the Void Gauntlet. In order to get that, you'll have to complete the quest Margaki's Stratagem in Shattered Mountain and Legatus Fulvius quest series in Reekwater. The main storyline is also going to be improved with new wave events, destructible objects, and proximity nodes for tracking, so you'll have a lot more different things to do. Again, something that would probably give value to replaying that quest line eventually. Something that a lot of people have been asking for are new PvP faction missions, and they are coming in this PTR as well. So the first thing that's mentioned here is that poach missions have been removed. I'm not even sure what's meant by poach missions. Is that gather missions or just a specific type? I have no idea. I've never seen a poach mission that was named like that at least. But what we'll have now is control point missions that send you out to capture forts, which means forts will be a lot more contested because people will constantly have quests there. I'm not sure what will happen when your company or your faction already controls the fort though, so that's going to be interesting if this quest only works as long as the enemy owns it or what's going to happen there. Then there is the Intercept mission, which is defeat enemy faction members and collect their tiers. So I guess this specifically encourages PvP around PvP areas because you get bonus stuff for killing people. I noticed a while ago when more people were in that area that especially in Great Cleave, a lot of people would basically mindlessly run the faction missions and not attack each other. My company did not join into that and rather saw that as an opportunity to have some extra PvP, but I imagine with these changes, with this Intercept mission type, that'll happen a lot more in general and people will fight a lot more. And then there will be war camp loot missions as well, where you have to retrieve hidden plants from the enemy war camp. So a lot more will be happening around the forts and around the war camp, which is especially interesting in areas where those are also close to the other PvP missions, like for example in Windswood. So it definitely sounds like the PvP missions will be way more PvP focused. What's also going to happen in that patch is the trading posts being linked. This was already announced and now it is happening. So now you can actually buy and sell everywhere in the world, and the fees for the buy or sell orders are defined by the settlement that you're posting them from, the buyer's fee obviously being where you're buying from. When any sell orders expire, the item goes back to the settlement where they were posted. Now this is something that, again, I think is a good upgrade for how the game is currently handled and for the current economy. I think it's a bit of a crutch solution because it takes away some of the, marketing tricks that some people were doing with posting specific offers in specific areas. But overall, I think it's better for the long-term health of the game, and we'll see if they do further changes to it down the road. For now, I think it's the best solution. We'll find out tomorrow how all of that plays out. If you'd like to see more updates like this, please consider subscribing and maybe hitting the bell so you get notified of that. And I will be streaming some of the PTR tomorrow if everything goes well. So I will test some of the changes live, see how things have really changed, how mechanics interact now. So if you're interested in that, feel free to hop over on twitch.tv/DukeSloth, where that will be happening. Since it's pretty early in the morning for me, I'll probably go live 1 or 2 hours after the servers go up. With that, thank you guys very much for watching, and I hope to see you for the next one soon. Again, another video later today. DukeSloth, out.